Okay. Since we're doing episode 52, I wanted to look back on the podcast, do some retrospective thoughts on a year of doing this podcast. First I wanted to say thank you to everybody who is either subscribed, listening, has listened.
If you've reviewed, if you've emailed us,
Seriously.
if you've donated to our the couple of contests we've done,
Yeah.
if you just any of that stuff, thank you so much. Because we wouldn't be. I mean, maybe we would still be doing.
We
this
probably still would be doing
if we
it.
had 0 viewers or zero subscribers.
But it blows me away. Like, we used to, we check the numbers all the time, and we are still, when we had 10 people, and we were 5 of them, we were freaked out. We were like, there's 5 other people listening?
Yeah, no, it's there's 20 people. Well, half of those are friends and family that I took their iPhones and subscribed for them. But then that number, when we were past that, past the family, past
and it
the
started
friends,
growing,
we just did it because we did it for them.
It's insane to me.
So surprising. It's just so cool.
Yeah, it's so big thanks to everybody. I know everyone says that on the thanks everybody. No, but it does. It's pretty cool. It's weird to me to think hey, we're playing in your car right here. Listen,
we're in your ears.
We're in your ear holes. It's just crazy. I would have never thought, because I think we've talked about this a couple times. Jordan and me used to be longtime roommates, and we used to joke about we should do a show, a funny, stupid show, and put it on the internet.
Yeah.
We never did, because we were one, we were lazy, and two, I don't know.
If you did it back then, this could have been the biggest thing ever.
I know, it could have been. We started in 2002 or something, when we wanted to do it. But I wanted to first start off, again, thanking everybody, but I wanted to talk about the evolution a little bit of this podcast.
Some SDS history right there.
So when we first started, when we finally were we're going to do it. We're going to do a podcast. Everyone has a podcast. Let's just do one, right? We did an episode where we invited, and they've been on the show a couple times. It was
episode 0.
Episode 0, the infamous episode 0. That
unreleased footage.
Unreleased. We still have it. I still think one day we got to put that out.
Of course, maybe.
But Dan, who's been on the show before, as well as Brandon, who's Jordan's brother, was also on that episode. And then, of course, me, Gerald, and Jordan. We're on the episode.
Busy table. We did this on your dining room table.
Yeah, so we did it on a dining room table. It sounded like crap. That's partly
didn't have any of this equipment, obviously.
No, none of this equipment. It was very
borrowed lapel mics.
Yeah, it was,
on the table, taped down. It was bad.
Very jerry rigged. It was very
no lights or anything.
It was. Pretty,
we're not in this multi-million-dollar studio we're in right now.
Right,
Just
right,
kidding.
Right. But the thing that we got out of that was we can do this. There were genuinely laugh out loud, funny moments where we were
listening back,
and it's still funny. I go back and listen to it. It's still great. We talked about D23. We talked about Pirates of the Caribbean and why it's a terrible movie.
And
Brandon,
the perfect movie, right?
Yeah, Brandon thinks it's a perfect movie. Yeah, write your hate mail. I should put his email on here. Anyways, some of the discussions that it all ranged from the discussions that we had as roommates, as friends for the past 5 years or whatever. And then after we did that, it was kind of it was too big of a production. Because the 5 of us all needed to get together because of
different schedules.
Kind of a mess. How the equipment that we had was kind of this borrowed equipment that we just couldn't do it on a regular basis.
Obviously, doing it in your dining room didn't work out because the sound was terrible.
Yeah, it sounded bad. We have a bigger dining room table or dining room area, so it was all echoey. Just a lot of problems, right? So after that, though, we were we still had a lot of fun doing it, right? Yeah. We were we had a ton of fun, and that's part of why we do this. Even if no one was listening, we still have fun talking to each other. But then I said, okay, let's just do audio. Let's just do an audio podcast because we filmed it like we were doing here, and that was part of the problem. We tried too hard.
And I hated it.
Yeah, you hated it. And so me, Jordan, and you got together, and I have some video footage, which I thought about putting. I think I might put it in the video, and I'm going to put the audio here, where we sat down and I said, "Look, we'll just do it, but we're not gonna put it out. It's just gonna be if it's good enough, we'll put it up, right?" And that's episode 1, which is
I need to go back and listen to that.
Right. First of all, it sounds terrible. The audio quality is not as good. Not that this is something out of, we're not in a real studio, quote unquote, but that sounded a lot worse. We didn't have any backdrop. It was just a table, just us sitting at a table. And we had no idea what we were doing.
No, of course not.
Clearly there was no structure to the show.
Let's be honest. We barely know.
Exactly. It's it was bad. Dumpster fire, big time. Since then, I wanted to give some advice. I think that's, if anybody wants to start a podcast, there's a couple things that you need to do. One is, do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, don't I really have this great idea and just not do it. I mean, what's to lose?
Right.
And
And
I mean, you could buy some equipment, and if it sucks, just return it. You got 30 days.
That's true. But I will say you literally just sometimes have to do the podcast. Like there's times where I'm sure humble listeners, you are humble listener? Yeah. You probably know when we weren't doing our best. And it's going to be this evolution of
It's right before David started beating me before we hit record.
Yeah, exactly.
Beats me in submission. Someone help me.
No, but I was going to say, just it's okay to evolve. Like this show has clearly evolved over the last year. Like
we had like no format or structure.
No.
Now we kind of have we have like we try doing homework week to week. You know, so
right.
I mean homework sounds bad, but we like to make sure by the end of the week we have stuff to talk about.
Right? Because
before it was just like I don't do anything. This week. We have to do something. Why didn't you do anything? You could talk about that.
Yeah,
good times.
And be prepared to get in arguments with your friends about it. I mean, me and Gerald, we've probably done it on the air a couple times, which probably made for like a good, like we should get in a fight on the air. But no,
yeah. Well, that's kind of our thing. Like we have very polarizing opinions about a lot of stuff. That's kind of part of what makes this show great, I think.
And Jordan was no help because Jordan was like Switzerland on everything. He'd be like, I see both opinions. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like tell me your freaking answer and side with me. And Gerald would be the same way. But be prepared for differences of opinion, and you've got to learn how to figure out what's important to you, what's not important to you.
Just make sure at the end of the day, when you're done hitting record and you're listening back before you do edits or anything, just make sure you're having fun doing this.
Right. If you're not having fun, then it does. Because I know one specific episode where I was not having fun.
Always talks about this episode.
It was bad. I love that we're airing out laundry. This is like,
and it comes across. I mean, I'm not one that listens to episodes. I can't stand the sound of my voice, honestly. So I don't listen to these. So I hope they're great, guys. Tell us if they're great, please.
By the way, he does not listen to them.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. But there are definitely times it comes across in the content
can tell when
there's agitation or, like I said, David's been beating me.
Yeah.
That definitely comes across to the listeners and the viewers and stuff. So
and
we're definitely better about not doing that.
Yeah,
airing our laundry beforehand.
Yeah, or just not. The one thing I think that and a piece of advice that I would give anybody is like, don't care so much, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I know that's probably a terrible thing to say.
Tell yourself.
I am, and I've learned that. Like I used to care too much about like everything had to be perfect and everything had to be done in a specific way, but like that's just not going to happen.
Nothing's perfect. And look,
no,
it's just
exactly.
Fun, right?
Like freaking throw this and just and like turn off the microphone and then turn it back on. Like that's the point. Is like I wanted everything to be so picture perfect, but that's one because we don't take cuts.
Right.
We literally everything we say.
Do it live.
Exactly. That's the point. Like, but there's some of the best moments that we have, and that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. What is some of your favorite moments of the podcast for the past year?
Oh man,
I'm trying to. I have a couple things.
I would have to do my homework, honestly, David.
Okay, well, I'll remind you of one that I
okay.
There's been I think 2 or 3 times that you've cried from laughter. One of them was our Thanksgiving episode where Jordan talked about because one of the best things about Jordan is that he was
Jehovah's Witness,
so he never celebrated. So we'd always be like, we're going to do a holiday episode. He's like, great, I have nothing to talk about. But
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but the one thing that he talked about was the Italian turkey and putting a mustache on it, because you'll have to go back and listen to it. And he's like, he was talking about how his family would kind of celebrate Thanksgiving. It wouldn't be on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And he's like,
just today we're having a really nice dinner.
And then he's like, what did he say? He said something along the lines of, it's not like we like Native Americans or anything. And you lost it. Like you could not stop laughing. And to this day, that's probably when I go back and I watch that and like, it's genuinely funny. And that's the moment where I was like, we're doing it right. Like there was so much, those are some of my favorite moments because I can go back and watch them and it's great.
I got a good moment and I'm going to make you in the edit find the look on my face when I realize this in the podcast.
Okay.
But my tipping mistake, like probably one of the best and yet worst moments of my life.
That was great.
Knowing that I don't know how to tip people.
Yeah, we did an episode, Sit Down and Eat, where we talked about food and then we got into a discussion about tipping.
And so I was like, oh, you just double tax.
No.
Right?
No, that's
no. It was taking tax and then halving the tax and taking decimal or whatever. And it's like, well, no, that means you're paying them like way less than you're supposed to. It's like, no, what?
Here in Nevada, it's like 8.25% on tax. So we were like, just double tax and it's 16%. You're giving a good tip. 15% is like between 15 and 20% is usually.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, it's easy. Before we told you that, you were like, yeah, it's easy. You just take tax and you half it. And we're like, dude, that's 4%. And you were like, oh yeah, it is. It's just, that was great. Cause you were just like,
The look on my face.
You're like, no wonder everyone gives me a dirty look. I was always like, why are servers so mad at me? That was great. And it's been a running joke ever since. So there's been some good stuff. I wanted also to talk about some of our least favorite, because we got to do that, right? We got to talk about some of the stuff we hated. I think my moment was when we got in a spat on the air. That's my least favorite moment. Because
was it a good argument though?
No, we were arguing. Like, this is the thing. It's like any marriage. Like, you argue about this. Like, the toilet paper goes this way, not that way. And then it's like, what are we arguing about? No, but we were arguing about. I see. I don't even remember what it was. But I don't remember what it was.
We gotta go back.
We gotta go back. But it was the collector episode, and you said something, and I was like,
the infamous collector's
episode. If you want to see us at our worst, which is probably the best,
check out the collector's episode.
Check out the collector's episode. But it was just, there was a lot of tension because I think I was squeezing too hard. I wanted everything to be perfect, and it wasn't starting off perfect. And I got upset, and that from that moment on, I learned, like, I can't be like that because it's just not gonna happen.
Right.
So that was my least favorite. What was yours?
Missing Jordan, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he didn't leave. Like, we didn't kick him off. There was nothing like that.
Screw that guy.
No, he was just like, he's just got stuff going on. Yeah. It's hard to find time, and I completely understand that. Yeah, he's got twin babies.
And he got a new job, and he's been crazy with his new job. He misses the podcast.
Moved, remember, during the whole movie
so
phase?
It's been crazy.
It's just a lot, one thing after another. And I miss Jordan, man.
And I know.
We need... I tell David this, and he says no, we don't. But like having the third, because we disagree all the time.
Right.
We need opinions. That's what makes it great. Like I said before, we need a third person to be like, break us up. Stop you two, stop fighting.
Right.
It's nice to have that. And
I've tried to get him on the show. It's just, I know he's super busy. And I remember one of the things that I didn't like about the podcast, speaking of least favorite, was how much stress it was giving Jordan.
Yeah. Right.
I know you guys probably don't know any of that, but this stuff, like, time-wise, getting things together, boo-hoo, I know. You have a podcast, you're whatever. The point being is, like, it takes a long time to do our quote-unquote homework, make sure that we have something to talk about.
Yeah, it's not just showing up. It's, doing stuff during the week and making sure you have stuff to talk about.
Right, so
going out to maybe see a movie or playing a new video game. And
I saw how stressed out he was getting with everything else going on in his life, and I said, dude, it's okay.
Yeah, come back when you want.
And I know
Jordan, I hope you're listening. Come back next week, please.
He should come back. We should tell him. But yeah, we'll try to get Jordan back on the show more often, and we'll have other special guests. And I've talked about this. What is some of the stuff you want to do? I know I just put you on the spot on all this. What do you want to do for the next 52?
Oh, jeez.
The new 52, as I'm calling it.
I don't know. I want more, I guess, feedback. I want more interaction with our fans.
Yeah.
With our listeners. This is actually viewers.
What I wanted to. So the great folks over at Rum and Board, big fans of ours and big fans of theirs, both ways. What is that called? Reciprocation?
Yeah.
Anyways, they did a live.
Bisexual.
No, not that way.
Oh, you said both ways.
Bilingual? It's not the same thing. No, anyways, they did a YouTube live stream of a board game that they did an RPG specifically. And they had interaction with people watching and talking back and forth. I think we're going to implement something. We did this a little bit with the stuff on Periscope.
Right.
But I think Periscope is a different audience, right, than our YouTube audience. Like, I think it's just people are looking for different things.
And the biggest thing with like Periscope and all that kind of like live stuff for me is like you want to interact with your fans live, but you got to make sure that you're recording a podcast as well. So it's just finding that balance, and I think that's difficult with us as the main people that are providing,
right?
The content to all your ear and eye holes and stuff.
No,
maybe if we had like a quote unquote producer who's like, oh, this person said this.
Yeah. By the way, like this is run by like it's just us.
Yeah.
Like I wish it was more.
Honestly, it's really just David. Like David's like 95%. I just come here and I do stuff throughout the week, so it's mainly David. He's being modest.
But I want to. I do want to set up a Q&A. Maybe even if it's something that we don't do here, maybe it's something like me and you over the internet, and then we have people. I don't know.
Sure. I would love that.
We got to do something like that. But yeah, I mean that's something I want to do.
I think getting one of our first emails from someone that was like
weird.
A memorable moment.
That was weird.
It's
yeah.
Like, I'm like, and I guess me clarify an email from someone we don't know, because we would get emails from like my wife's emailed us. I think Alyssa sent us an email.
Yeah.
But when like someone we don't know, it's like, oh, this is your friend? No, it's your friend. No, it's like, oh my god, it's like a real
someone
fan.
we don't know.
God,
like
crazy.
that's we freak out. Like
fans like JB who are like, we don't know you, JB, and you're super fan JB.
I know.
He's
and like
tweeting my wife and stuff back and forth. It's just great seeing that people we don't know interact with us, and I want to do that more. So like. More emails. We're trying to do this thing where you get a $5 gift card. I mean, come on, people, just email us questions.
Yeah,
and
like again, I think it would be awesome to have a community. But for me, another big piece of advice is like, I know I keep saying just do it, like Nike. Anyways, the point being is like, put out content. Like it's a matter of time, right?
Yeah.
Like you just keep putting out content and creating a good environment, and hopefully, like what we're hoping to do is build the community and have more interaction with you guys. That would be awesome. It really does. Like if you write an email, personally, I freak out. Like
me too.
No, but yeah, and I'll send
Especially
it to
that
you.
first time, I was just like, what?
And then like I send it to Gerald, and he's like, okay, we gotta Jordan, when we sent him the email about the who would win in a fight, Hulk or he took a couple days off of work. Like it wasn't a joke. Like we don't joke
Homework,
around.
yeah.
So we really do appreciate the emails. Okay, I have one additional thing for you. Let's see how many episodes, starting with the first episode, you can name by their name of the episode.
David, I don't listen to the podcast.
Oh, come on. What was it? Okay. First one? Do you remember what it's called?
No.
You have no idea what it's called?
No. Sit down, let's go, or something like that?
No, let the games begin.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 2?
David, you're asking the wrong person, man.
I'm asking the wrong person. Super Summer Rewind. Come
Gotcha.
on. Anyways, you know what was also interesting about those first few episodes is we would record for like 30 minutes before and like 10... Well, we would record a lot before. And then like we would be talking, and then eventually it would be like, okay, it feels like we've been talking long enough, we could start the podcast.
Right.
We don't do that as much now because it feels more just like we know what we're doing.
We just have to get a laugh out of David. And then
that was normally, if you look at all the early episodes, it's usually me laughing.
Him
that starts
giggling, and then we are live, folks! So you got to get him to giggle first, and then he'll start the show.
By the way, also...
So behind the scenes, he'll be like, all right, guys, make me laugh. We got to start the show. Make me laugh. Dance, monkey, dance.
Jester boys, make me laugh. The thing for me that I want to do on these episodes moving forward, I want to do a couple things. One, I want to invite more people on the show that people haven't heard or seen, friends, family, whoever, as well as through interviews. I want to figure out a way to do interviews. So if you are a fan, and maybe we can figure something out that way. I don't know whether it's through Skype or something.
Yeah, probably something like that.
It's just, that's the other thing.
Figure out the tech behind it.
Dude, you would think with two IT guys who were originally on the show, like, it'd be easy to get this stuff done.
Yeah, I do that for a living, David. I don't want to do that after
I know. Anyways, okay. So again, if you want to write us an email, questions, comments, concerns, you can send an email to
sitdownstandard@gmail.com and send us suggestions, questions,
something you want us to review.
Yeah, anything, literally anything.
Yeah, and we've got that good old stuff. So if you've got some that just you, because we talked about this last week. I think we talked about it last week. The idea of like, we talked about, this wasn't on the show. This is another thing that you have conversations. You're like, was that on or off the show? We had a conversation about like people like who love one thing like to death, like that is their thing. I want to know what those things are from people.
Lost.
That's your thing, right?
Yeah.
Right? Mine's like probably board games is too strong, but like Metal Gear Solid is one thing that I freaking love. Yeah. Like I love that thing. Let us know, because like I want to. I sometimes I don't understand people's passion for certain things, like Lost. I don't get it.
Look at the back of my thing.
I meant like, why do you love it so much? So send us an email that says, what do you love? Like, what is the one piece of media that you just cannot get enough of? It doesn't matter what form it comes in. You love it. And why? Because I want to know. Because there's so much good stuff out there that I'm
maybe
like,
we're missing out on something.
Right. And then we can, even if it's something old, like something super old, like I want to do stuff like that. I want to know why people love stuff. So send us your emails. If you send us an email, and it gets right on the air, get a $5 gift card to Starbucks,
Steam,
or Amazon.
I mean, those three, they got everything.
Right, exactly. I think
guys, free money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just send an email.
Yeah.
And just say Lost, and you'll probably get $5
you'll definitely win, yeah.
Anyways, till next time. Bye.
See ya.